So there's been some anger on the right about the response to the recent Amtrak crash. People like Megyn Kelly have said, how dare liberals politicize this issue? She was scathing in her response, and she basically said, well, go ahead and tell me how infrastructure spending would have prevented this crash. And the implication was, of course it wouldn't. Shut up, you liberals trying to take advantage of a tragedy. That's the idea that she was getting at. But today, allow me to say this. Megyn Kelly, challenge accepted. You asked us to explain to you how infrastructure spending could have prevented this crash. Well, here we go. Think Progress reports, quote, the train involved in the deadly crash in Pennsylvania on Tuesday was reportedly going more than 100 miles per hour in a 50 mile per hour zone. So let's pause there. This is where the conservatives go, you see, you stupid fucking liberals always wanting to, fix infrastructure in America. You bring up that talking point too soon. This crash had nothing to do with that because the guy was speeding the train. That's the problem. Blame the individual. This is about personal responsibility. This is not about our infrastructure in any way, shape, or form. Hold on to that thought. They say, quote, according to federal officials, technology that could have remotely slowed the train, which the president of Amtrak has called the most important rail safety advancement of our time, has been installed on much of the Northeast Corridor, but was not operational in the section where the train derailed. And if some in the Senate have their way, Republicans, it may not be in place for another 5 years. Whoa. For decades, the National Transportation Safety Board has urged the nation's railroads to implement a technology called Positive Train Control Systems, or PTC. This technology would allow railroads to use GPS to stop or slow trains in cases of driver emergencies, switches left in the wrong position, hijacking, natural disasters, or other human error. So, in other words, we already have the technology to basically put a governor on the speed of the trains and to slow it down regardless of what, the person actually driving the train is doing. That technology exists. It's just a matter of fully funding it and implementing it and making it operational, which takes time and effort and money. So the technology exists, but it wasn't working on this train. Why wasn't it working? Goes right back to the original point that I made at the time and other progressives made at the time. Because we don't give a flying fuck about our infrastructure in any serious way. Now, to be clear, they did actually, there were Democrats who successfully got a bill through that started us going down this path of implementing it, which is why in many areas in the Northeast we actually have it functioning. But they haven't made it fully operational yet. So it would require more funding and more attention and fixing a problem, namely making it operational on the specific train where this happened. So the idea that, there's nothing that could have been done to prevent this, that's crazy to say that. That's demonstrably untrue. We could have fully funded this technology on all trains. We could have it operational on all trains if we just gave a shit to do it. Or, as I said originally, we're having this conversation about whether we should slightly upgrade our pathetically shitty infrastructure or do nothing at all, when the real debate we should be having is, should we update our infrastructure or should we try to get the number one infrastructure in the world and get, those bullet trains, for example, get newer trains that are up to date, that are essentially crash-proof in many respects? Why would we not have that conversation? So even if this wasn't the case, this is the point, man, even if this wasn't the case, and we didn't have this funding issue with the thing that could check the speed from externally, it would still be the case that the problem is our shitty infrastructure. Megyn Kelly might want to deny that, and other conservatives might want to deny that and say, oh, don't blame that, because then we actually have to address the problem. But it is something we should care about. It is something we should address. Because if it's preventable in any way, shape, or form, why would we not say that that's the solution? Of course it's the solution.